Hi, how are you? My name is Pete, and in this video I'm going to give you a couple of ways you can get the polymer on Genesis2 map in ARK. So I decided to show you a couple of ways because everyone is at different stage of the game. Not everyone has access to certain items or certain dinos, and that way, no matter on what stage in the game you are, you can get some polymer for yourself. Also, all the footage you'll see in the game is on single player on default settings with one-time gathering. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So the first method is pretty simple. All you gotta do is start killing Hesperonis. Now here's the map with the location of Hesperonis, where you can find them. As you can see, they are pretty common, and I would strongly suggest you use the moss chops for it. Moss chops is a pretty easy tame. Also, don't forget to level up your moss chops into organic polymer if that's his main purpose. And all you gotta do is just kill as many Hesperonises as you can. Now you also have an option to use the chainsaw if you're high enough level. However, the chainsaw doesn't seem to be getting that much more organic polymer, although keep in mind that I have a primitive chainsaw and my moss chops is pretty much leveled up completely. Now the next way you can farm polymer is by killing Karkinos. Now here's the location of Karkinos. As you can see, they're not very common on this map. However, you can find them, and you can find them in this deep water trench in the middle of the map. Now they're usually at the very bottom of that trench, at least that's where they're spawned for me, and I don't think there's any way that you can get them out of that trench on the surface. So I would definitely recommend to use some kind of water dino, like I'm using Megalodon here, and you can either farm the Karkinos just purely using Megalodon, or you can kill the Karkinos with the Megalodon and then harvest its corpse with the moss chops. Now remember, when you cryopod the moss chops out underwater, he will immediately start swimming up. So keep that in mind, otherwise you might wonder where did your moss chops go. Now the next method is probably the most efficient method of farming polymer on this map, and it involves killing Mantis. Here's the Mantis location on the map. As you can see, they are pretty common on the left hand side of the map, and you shouldn't have many problems finding them. Now for that, I would strongly recommend to use Megatherium, which has additional boost after killing insects, and also it will help you gathering chitin at the same time. And here you have a choice as well. You can either harvest the corpse of Mantis with the Megatherium, or you can use the chainsaw. You need to experiment yourself because it's all based on the level of your Megatherium as well as the rarity of your chainsaw. So you need to figure it out for yourself, which is better for you. Now here's a little tip. At some stage upon farming those mantises, I'm sure you'll get to the point where you will be overburdened. Now normally at this point you want to go back to the base to drop all that stuff you gathered. However, don't forget that you can use the terminals for that. So whenever you want to drop off some of the items you collected, you want to go to the mission list on your menu and click Track Mission Dispatcher. That will track the nearest terminal to you. And once you get there, you can upload all that polymer you gathered, or chitin, or whatever it is you want to drop off, and you can continue farming Mantis. And later on, when you're back to the base, you click that mission list, track dispatcher again. That will show you the nearest terminal to your base, where you can download all them items. Just make sure that your server that you play on allows to do that, because not all of them do, so do your research first so you won't get disappointed. And the next method is the one that I feel like everyone forgot about, which is the old school method. And considering the fact how much obsidian is available on this map, you can see it here, especially in the space biome whenever you get the obsidian rocks on it. Combining that with the amount of chitin you can actually collect on this map easily between mantises, spiders, ants, and all the other stuff that gives chitin, you might consider getting polymer old school way, which is by using your fabricator and combining obsidian with cementing paste. Now keep in mind that some items require you specifically to use organic polymer, however the ones that don't will be completely fine with you using normal polymer. And the last way I want to talk about, I'm not sure how well it's going to be valid for, because it's based on the fact that the drops at the moment on Genesis2 are really generous. So not only you can get the polymer from the drops, but also you can get so much good loot from the drops that majority of them you won't actually need, and it might be worth investing in industrial grinder. And that way you can get tons of polymer as well as all the other materials like cementing paste, for example, which you can combine with the obsidian and get even more polymer. Now, I hope you find this video useful. If you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.